Well, welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. It's the most exciting time of the year for basketball fans here in the district. Wizards basketball is back, and head coach Brian Keefe kind enough to join us to talk all things season. Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to see you.
How are you doing? I'm assured this time of the year there's so many different emotions. I mean, the pieces are starting to come together. There's excitement. Walk us through kind of what this time's like for you.
For coaches, this is always the most exciting time because you get to practice. Our guys have been doing a lot of work this offseason, but now we get to really do it formally. And coaches, this is our time.
Yeah, entering your second full year at the helm now.
Yep.
So I'm sure there was a lot of reflection, a lot of time to kind of soak in the full season during the off season. What was that time like for you, and how much did you learn from that first full season?
A lot, for sure. I think to use the off season, you want to grow, you want to get better. I ask my players to grow and get better. So you always have that time in the off season, what things you could have done, you reflect on. I think we've had a good off season, and that is borne out into like the amount of work our guys have done. Really pleased where we are going into camp, the standards we have set. Now it's time to go, and we look forward to tomorrow. We're excited.
Well, tell us about this group a bit. You mentioned it was a very busy off season, still a very young roster, but some veteran pieces brought in as well.
I think we got 9 guys who were in my training camp last year, so we have some of that knowledge, how we do things, how we operate, and then obviously we added 3 guys through the draft that we're really excited about. And then you had a guy like CJ McCollum, Marvin Bagley coming back with us, and then some of the guys we added through trades. We have guys who love their craft, who love their game. We're just excited to now kind of gel them as a team, as a unit. But like we said, we've had a really good offseason, really purposeful, intentional about how we got better. Now it's time to get started.
Yeah, let's talk about this rookie class a little bit, specifically, Trey and Will and everyone coming in with a standard of this is the foundation that's pretty much been set at this point. Why are you so excited about this group in particular?
They fit the type of guys we wanted. Number one, character-wise, guys who love their craft, obsess about the game, want to be in the gym, want to get better. Obviously, they bring unique skill sets, but the number one thing that stood out to me was about, and you could see that, and that bore out over the summers, how much they want to get better, how much time they want to put into this. And it fits with just like the other guys we have in this building, so we're really excited about them.
Kind of the same realm, those guys that were drafted 2 seasons ago now entering their sophomore year, Alex and Bub and Keyshawn. Those guys, how did you see their game develop now after a full season, and not only individually their games, but also the chemistry they were able to build together?
I think you saw it throughout the year last year, right? They got a lot of time for us because they deserved it, but also we had a little bit of injuries at the beginning. You saw that how they got better month to month, week to week, and then by the end of the year, they had grown tremendously. I was really impressed with all 3 of them. But what really happens, and you can say this with Bilal too, is they can now have set the standard for how we do things. As we've built into the offseason, we've added guys. They're part of like how we operate on a day-to-day basis. This is how we work. This is how we do things. So I've been really impressed with their leadership. They all played in Summer League. They all wanted to play in Summer League. They all wanted to set the tone for the new draft pick. So their leadership has been tremendous. Been really happy with them. You
look at kind of the philosophy of wanting those guys to play a lot of minutes. I know you mentioned there were injuries and that kind of impacted things too last year. But entering this year, do you think that philosophy will remain? You want those young guys to get a little bit of mileage under them?
I think we're going to have a very competitive training camp. We have a little bit more of a deeper roster in some certain position-wise. But we'll also have, there's going to be opportunities for guys to grow. Who's going to step up? But we're going to use our whole roster. We're still in the building phase of our deal here with our organization. We're never going to apologize where we are. So what combinations work, who works well together, who plays well with this lineup, I think you're going to see that, and everybody's going to get an opportunity.
You mentioned the word building. I'd say it's different than rebuilding. Building, you have that foundation set. Is it safe to say you've got the guys in the building, you've got the standard that you want here, and now it's just about continuing to raise the bar?
Yeah, obviously you're always going to want to add talent as you go. But I think the things for me, what I focus on is how we prepare and how we do things. So there is a standard for how we do things now, and I think that's been established over the last year and a half. I've been coaching, and then obviously with the leadership with Michael and Will. I think we're in that phase of now we know how to do stuff. Now we got to translate it more to the games.
When it comes to that identity, I know that's a word gets tossed around in sports all the time, but what is that identity you want to portray when your guys step out on the court?
I think you want to see a team that has a defensive mindset. I think that's the stuff that's going to be sustainable when you really push the go button, when we're really ready to go, and then a team that's unselfish. Like, those things stand the test of time. I think you saw that at the end of last year as our team grew month by month. We got a little bit more physical. We got a more defensive mindset, and then we were really sharing it. Those are the two things that we're going to be focusing on.
Well, for someone like you who has 20 years of experience in this league, understanding what a successful team looks like, what are maybe some of those common things that those teams share, and how much you see that with this Sphere squad?
I think the common things I've been on some successful teams I've been lucky enough to win a championship, is they didn't skip any steps. That they enjoyed the process, they enjoyed the work of it. And then at the end you realize, oh my God, we just end up winning the thing. But they never skipped anything, they just stuck to their day-to-day habits. I think that's what we're still trying to establish, that even when we are a little bit more down the timeline of where we are, that's not going to change. The guys are going to drive that, our building's going to drive that, our environment's going to drive that. Those are, I think, the things that build a sustainable winner. Yeah,
well, you mentioned the word timeline, so I'm going to press you a little bit on where this team is in terms of being competitive. And I know the wins are always, the standard. You want to go out and win every night. But where is this team at, realistically?
I think Will Dawkins talked about this. We're still in the building phase. We're still in the acquiring of talent phase, but we obviously have lots of talented guys on our roster. We know that not all those guys make it through this type of thing. People are going to start separating themselves. We're going to see that as that comes, but that's part of the healthy competition that we're expected to see in our gym, but we're still in that building stage.
So in terms of a successful season for this team this year, what does that look like in your eyes?
I think it's just establishing more on the court our identity of how we're going to play. Can we make efforts defensively that show we're improving and going in the right direction? Can we show improvements in stylistically how we want to play and offensively, and seeing who fits in that type of system? I think those are the things we're still finding out about, and that's exciting.
Well, before I let you go, this fan base, this city loves its basketball. What did you learn maybe about this fan base that you maybe didn't know now into your second year here?
I've been very lucky. I worked for other teams, and I had some guys who lived here, who grew up here. So I was always pretty knowledgeable about, because I would spend time here myself in the off season. And this is a very special basketball community. We just did a coaching clinic. We do our second annual coaching clinic last week, where we invite local high school coaches, grassroots coaches, and it's a high level. To get to be part of that and give back to that, it's been something that's been a great honor to me to be part of this huge basketball historic thing. We just want to do our part and contribute to that.
So if you had a message to them really quick, what would that message to the fan base be?
That we're going to go out there and give it our all every night. That we're going to be relentless in how we pursue getting better, and we're going to show that on the court. And I think our fans are starting to see that. I get that when I'm out and about. People come up and they can see our effort and what we're doing. So I think they're thinking we're going in the right direction.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. All right, stay with us. More Toyota Sports Talk coming up in just a little bit.